train, Miss Schools.
We are. Which way is it going to come again?
From that way.
From that way.
We're going that way. Got the bikes all packed up.
Yeah, stuff on there.
Some bike parking back there.
This year's Tour De Los Padres was different because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it. I hadn't been riding much the last year or so because I hadn't been feeling well, and so I didn't know if I'd be ready for it. So we decided to tour down there to see how we would feel over a course of a few days riding, and decide by the time we got there.
We're heading off for our Tour De Los Padres 2025.
2025. Wow.
So Miss Coles, maybe you can tell everyone about the route, what the route's going to be this year?
Sure. Yeah, the route is going to be a point-to-point. It starts in Arroyo Seco on Indians Road, and it ends in Ventura. And it's a mix of road and dirt. And yeah, 400 miles, about maybe 425, with about 38,000 feet of climbing.
So as we rode down, every day I started to feel pretty good, a little bit better, and as we got closer, I started to think that maybe I would be able to give it a try. And if I did start, like once I committed to starting, I wanted to be able to finish. If I didn't feel ready when we got to the start, my plan was to start, maybe take a train, make my way back home, and wish Mr. Wildberry good luck on his ride.
There you go. Come on. Oh yeah.
Got the Henry goodies.
Time for some goodies. All right, well, we're just making our way into Arroyo Seco, where we will be starting off the Tour De Los Padres 2025. And we just rode down here from home. It took us 4 days to ride down at a real casual pace so we could just kind of warm up and get the legs turning. So anyway, it's about 6 o'clock p.m. Wednesday night. The weather is perfect, right, Miss Coles?
It really is. Yeah, it's really nice weather. It's only supposed to be, I think, around 50 degrees tonight. We'll see if that holds up. If it is, it's going to be a really nice night to sleep outside.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll go see if anyone's here. We'll check in, whatever, and then set up our tent for tonight and get out on the morning. So we'll see you guys in the morning.
This year, the Tour De Los Padres started at Arroyo Seco campground at the northernmost end of Indians Road. And we woke up that morning feeling like we had plenty of time to get to the start. We didn't go to there was a gathering the night before where a lot of riders came together and camped and hung out. And so that morning we woke up thinking, well, people are probably gonna, you know, take their time getting to the start. Maybe they stayed up late last night, and so we woke up feeling we had plenty of time. But then we start seeing riders go by, and we're like, oh, people are already headed to the start. But we still thought we had plenty of time. But you know, time gets away from you quickly. So we had to scramble, and we didn't make it to the start on time.
TDLP 2025.
Okay, it's the official rollout. We actually made it 7 minutes behind schedule, and they just rolled out. We didn't even see them.
We didn't, yeah. We woke up with lots of time, and as we were eating our breakfast, we started to see some of the riders coming up. We're like, oh, looks like they're starting to roll to the start.
I thought we had a lot of time left.
Yeah.
Oh well. We miscalculated a little. So hopefully we'll run into some riders up here, but so far it's a little bit of a quiet start this time.
Yeah, it was just such a nice morning at the campsite.
That campsite was really nice. Yeah.
But wow, look at this.
Here we
What
go.
A way to start.
Foggy morning.
What a way to start.
Getting our way up to, this is it right here. This is the last of the asphalt for a while. Oh, hey, thank you. Oh my gosh. We're hitting this right at the wildflower bloom season. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
I just love this part right here.
Yeah.
This rock, coming around this rock. And then you got that nice little river down there.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Alexander, and most people call me Lizzo. And I've done 3 TDLPs. I've done 2022, 2024, and then this year's 2025. I took my friend Ben's advice, which it's always like kind of start slow and pick up. And it's easy to burn yourself out the first day. And I tend to like to just feel good the whole time. And I was feeling good at that point. The day went, I think, pretty well. It was kind of a chill, well, I wouldn't say chill pace, but just like a nice pace going through, seeing everybody kind of back and forth.
Day 1 started out really nice. I was really excited to be starting this ride and to feel like I could give it a try. It was beautiful. Indians Road always starts out beautiful. We were feeling good. The Indians Road went by fairly quickly. That was a big obstacle to make it over that day, making it through Indians Road. The last couple years, that road has gotten some wear and tear and has had a variety of things like ticks, washouts, a lot of things that we were unsure of how the conditions would be this year. But conditions were pretty good and we got through quickly, so that felt good. And then we went through some beautiful valleys with incredible wildflowers.
Oh wow, look at these flowers.
After Indians Road, there was Nacimiento Ferguson, which is a pretty gradual but lengthy climb to the top of South Coast Ridge Road, which we were on for a little while before we got to this single track that we had not ridden before. And it turned out to be pretty technical single track. Not terribly technical as far as boulders and things like that, but it was a little challenging for me. I don't really have mountain biking skills, so I found it to be challenging. And one of the challenging parts about it was that there were parts that were overgrown with poison oak. And so I would want to get off and walk parts of it, but then I'd be walking through the poison oak, or I could try to ride it to stay out of the poison oak, but I found the riding challenging. So that trail took a little while.
My name is Chase Witter, and I have raced the Tour De Los Padres 2 years now. So my strategy for Tour De Los Padres was to kind of just feel it out day by day, try to sleep a few hours every night. But it didn't really go to plan, and I really wanted to make it to the Trader Joe's, and I think Atascadero before they closed at 9, and pushed for that, didn't make it, and didn't sleep the first night because I felt fine. And then come the morning at the High Mountain Lookout, starting to feel pretty crummy, and just kind of slogged through the second day.
Hello. My name's Tiff, and gosh, this past, I guess it was May. It was the very beginning of May. Was my first time doing the Tour de los Padres. I feel like I had been hearing about the Tour de los Padres for at least 5 years. I first heard about it from Dima, who is an OG TDLP person. He is a fellow volunteer at the Bicycle Kitchen in Los Angeles. And, you know, when I first heard about it, it sounded so gnarly. Like, it was just this, like, description of, you know, not sleeping and getting rained on and all these gnarly trails. And at the time, I was kind of just like a road. I had never really ridden off pavement bikes. Like, I've been a bike commuter and, you know, pavement tourer for a very long time, and I love biking, but I just had never really tried mountain biking or off pavement biking. Like, I was very much like an old 10-speed kind of person at that time in like 2020. Anyway, so heard about the ride, sounded pretty gnarly, out of my wheelhouse. And then, you know, during COVID, I started working at a bike. I had been working in the film industry, and I started working at a bike shop instead because the film industry was shut down for a while. And so then, of course, I got into biking on dirt, gravel bike, mountain bike, what have you. And yeah, just ended up becoming aware of a ride in LA that was put together by some like OG TDLP folks, Gregg Dunham and Jason Schaefer. So that one's called Escape LA, or Escape from LA, something like that. It's based on a movie. I didn't watch the movie. I should watch the movie maybe. Anyway, okay. So it's kind of a gnarly mountain bike tour around LA. So I tried this, and it was hard, and I couldn't do it. But then I knew about that whole world of rides. And I guess that crew, the Escape LA crew, kind of turned me on more to the TDLP idea. And, you know, just looking at the route this year, it looked amazing. I hadn't ridden almost any of it. And it's close enough to where I live, LA, that it's just like the start's just a bus ride away. So anyway, what do you got to lose, right? In terms of what did I expect? Yeah, so I think the Escape LA ride gave me a pretty good idea of the vibe. So my expectation was lots of hike-a-bike, some riding, some like absurd obstacles that you don't really know even like how you're going to carry your bike over. Yeah. But then also I saw on the route there's a good amount of pavement and potentially rideable looking gravel roads and whatnot. So Yeah, so I really had no idea what to expect. But I mean, I guess I do think the Escape LA route gave a good idea of just like, it might be anything.
It was the single track downhill heading down to the one. That trail was a single track. I had a gravel bike and I was heading down the downhill feeling pretty good. And then my bike seat bag fell off and flew off. And so I had to like ditch my bike and let it run down the hill, and pretty much had to collect all my stuff and get back on. So I was hoping to ride most of that single track, but it, with the bag falling off, that kind of like derailed me a bit. And so, but most of that single track was pretty fun. The trails were pretty fun the first day, and then basically hitting the one, it was a nice straight shot. The only thing was when we had to do this side trail, my seat bag fell off again, which was kind of a nuisance, and right where there was a bunch of poison oak. And I think that was the biggest thing, was that side trail ended up having a bunch of poison oak. But luckily I was with several guys there, and we all got off the trail and all got a bunch of soap, water, and just scrubbed our legs and arms like afterwards. So I feel like that for the most part saved me, or just like scrubbing right away, and didn't seem to get poison oak too bad. And other than that, I feel like the first day went pretty smooth, or what my expectations were.
All right, so we made it to South Coast Ridge Road here. Day one. It's probably around 3 o'clock or so. Maybe close to 4 o'clock actually. 4 o'clock probably. Definitely starting to feel the climbing accumulation in the legs. So hopefully this ridge won't be too hard, but I think it's pretty hard. Well, how's the ride so far, Miss Squirrels?
Wow, this is just incredible to be up here. It's really, really special to be up here. We made it through Indians Road. Oh, it looks like the flies are coming.
They're coming for us.
Yeah, must be 10, well, yeah.
I remember these last time.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah.
The clouds, wow. Well, I guess we'll have to get a
We'll get it later.
recap at the, we'll do this amazing descent now.
Kind of a crazy descent, huh?
Here we are, we made it to the coast.
Yeah. This is the, this is part of the ride where you really start feeling it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, today was a big day.
Today was a big day. We decided to skip that campground back there because it's still pretty early. It's only like 6:30. So we're gonna push on, see if we can get to Cambria for tonight. That's at mile 100. That's sort of the goal at the moment. But we wanted to just to take advantage of the evening out here on the coast when there's no cars, really. Maybe a couple. How does it say that?
Oh.
There's a car. But otherwise, it's pretty quiet.
It was so beautiful. So we're climbing and we come out of the clouds at some point, and it's just like so beautiful, bright sunny day, looking down on the clouds, beautiful trail. So you get to the top, and then you do this super fun descent. And then you end up on this paved road through a military base, I think. Fort Liggett. I think that's right. And then, go up Ferguson Nacimiento, get on this kind of roller coaster of a fire road that has just real steep uphills and downhills. Nothing's easy. And then only on that for a short time. And then it's just like absolutely epic single track down to Highway 1. That was amazing. I was like sold on the ride, like at that juncture, which was very early on, but it was so beautiful. It's like fields of flowers and looking down on the clouds and the coast. It's like, well, that's good enough for me. So that was incredible. And then it was pretty chill riding down the paved Highway 1. There was one interlude that I'm sure people have complained about, and I will too, where we had to do a little single track moment through very overgrown poison oak. So, I was behind a lot of people, and that was great because they made a little bit of a path. So I think I got a little bit less nailed by that than other folks who got there first. It was still pretty though, I don't know. I'm like not that mad. I mean, I was mad for sure 1 week after the ride when I was entirely covered in poison oak, but it was still pretty. So then, you keep going down Highway 1. At some point you turn off the coast. I don't have a map in front of me and I don't remember the names of all the towns all that well, but got to a little town sometime after dark, but not too much after dark. And that was where we turned off of the coast. So stopped at a gas station there. I ran into Jesse Barnett, and had some tuna and mashed potato flakes, and got some water at this little gas station.
On?
It's on now.
All right. Okay. Yeah, so I'm here on the Central Coast, just past Cambria, on the way to Harmony with this lovely couple. And so, Ms. Cools, tell me about the ride. How's it going so far?
Oh wow, it's been really just been really enjoying it.
What was your favorite section so far? Like you've got Indians and the Fort Hunter Liggett and all that.
Yeah, it's I enjoy Indians Road. It is pretty challenging, so there's a lot of challenges to get through there. So it's kind of like you look up every once in a while and be like, wow, this is amazing, and then you have to kind of look back at what you're doing. And then the stretch after that, I actually like a lot, the paved section, and then
that was great.
Ferguson is really awesome.
Some screaming fast downhills.
Yeah. The climbing paid off, definitely.
Yeah, so I did the math, and on one of those sections we dropped 600 feet in 40 seconds.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No wonder it felt so fun. Yeah.
That's how steep and fast. Okay, so Henry, how about yourself? What was your highlight of the tour so far?
Highlight of the tour so far? I would say coming down the coast last night.
Yeah.
In the dark, or we got down there before sunset,
yeah.
And we just had this really nice twilight hour that seemed to just keep stretching on and on.
Yeah.
And there was no cars.
Right.
We were taking the center of the lane. The water is just this amazing blue color. If you look, it's like aqua blue. gorgeous. And then the fog just kept the light, just kind of like today, just this nice diffused light. I loved it. It was
It's amazing.
That was the highlight. Now I know all the other stuff is amazing. The views, the flowers, the colors of wildflowers. Every color in the spectrum.
Stunning.
Awesome.
Yeah, huge yucca plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So the Highway 1 is closed north of, I think it's Kurt Creek. So very little traffic right now. So coming down the 1, like you guys were late at night, there was nobody on the road behind you. And I know that sensation where you're going down the coast,
Yeah.
and it's like, my life is a movie right now,
Yeah.
right? My life is a movie right now.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So wait, before you go,
Oh.
tell us your name
Yeah.
and what was your highlight of the trip?
Whew. All right, so my trail name is Beau Velo. That's French. It means nice bike. My name is Donald Gallegos. I live in San Luis Obispo. And boy, I think the highlight for me was coming through Fort Hunter Liggett and having basically 30 miles of constant downhill. Incredible Serengeti-like topography out there. And yeah, that was it.
That was the highlight?
That was probably the highlight. I like going up Nassiford, but
Yeah.
that's another story.
You were flying up Nassiford. I kept waiting to, you rode by us and then I thought, well, he'll slow down in a minute. Nope.
No, crush.
He was gone.
Crush.
So, how many days are you aiming to get this done?
That's a good question. 6 days.
6? Okay.
Yeah, we shall see. I'm not in any kind of hurry whatsoever.
Cool.
I'm maximizing the enjoyment.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Donald.
Yeah.
It's been fun riding with you this morning.
Yeah, it's been great bumping into you over there.
Yeah, that's what I love about these events. You can run into people and then, you know, you stopped earlier than we did, so we got ahead of you. And then we drug our feet this morning.
There were 5 people there at the Ragged Point Hotel.
5?
That's what they said.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was the 3rd, and then 2 more checked in after me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right, Donald, I'm gonna drop it back here.
Yeah.
Gotta save it
We
for
got
later.
a lot of descending after the top of this. So.
Okay, thanks. Have a good ride.
See you, trees.
Getting our lunch early here.
Yeah, we gotta be ready.
Yeah.
We have a little trail to do. Not sure what it's gonna look like yet.
It's gonna be rough.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
gonna be steep.
likely. But then Santa Margarita Road is after, and that one's more gradual.
True. They give you a few gradual ones here and there to
Yeah.
give you a few gradual ones here and there to keep your hopes up. Keep you going. Just when you're about to quit, they're like, oh, here's a gradual one.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this is amazing. What was I thinking?
What was I complaining about? What was I
Yeah.
cussing about an hour ago? But no. We found a mystery box here. What's in there, Miss Bowles?
Ooh.
Keep killing
Could
it.
it be?
Take what you need and your trash. Oh wow, you can leave your trash here. But no, we already dumped our trash. This is probably for
Could
the
it
front
be?
room.
Whoa.
Whoa, look at all the snacks. Chips Ahoy.
Chips.
Wow.
Oops.
Oops. Dang.
Well,
Yeah, somebody was really generous.
yeah, that was really nice. What's that? Creamy peanut butter,
Butter.
barbecue chips.
We got some
Doritos,
chili cheese. A lot of cheese.
and some barbecue.
You found some barbecue? Yeah.
Would you like some barbecue?
Yeah. Take a barbecue.
Some barbecue?
Yep.
Yeah. Here, in a wonderland of clouds. Or above, yeah.
Above clouds. Yeah.
But wow, it's just, it looks like just such a soft blanket out there. It's so beautiful. That is so, it's like you can't even see anything. Oh wow.
We're just making our way along the top of TV Tower Road here. Just finished up all that single track hike-a-bike, and we're now back onto some maintained gravel roads. Just in time for this sunset and all this fog that rolled in. Is that amazing or what?
This is just such a unique experience. Like, we're getting, because we ended up here at this time of day, and this is what we get to experience.
Yeah, you would never, you know, how would we have timed this, right?
Yeah.
Look at this. No way would we have timed it. Look, I mean,
Yeah,
the fog looks like the ocean rolled in.
it does. Like the whole ocean is up here.
Nothing exists anymore down there.
It's all covered.
Yeah, amazing, huh? Man, we've had 2 really nice evenings on this tour so far. Last night was great. This is definitely going to be one of the highlights, I think.
Definitely. Like the temperature is pretty warm. No wind right now. And this is just, yeah.
I had caught up to Jesse and Ian, and we kind of right where the railroad tracks are paralleling the 101. And so we all went into Santa Margarita together, got some food. And then I kind of left a little bit before them and to head up. And then we all kind of met up at the top of like the lookout tower. And we were all discussing like, what's everyone like? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? And they were kind of like, I think we're going to ride through the night. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do that at all. And they're like, where are you going to go? I'm like, I'm not quite sure. And then I was like, I think there's a campground kind of like halfway down this downhill. So if that looks good, I'll stop there maybe. Or I feel like there's a couple places down the road. Yeah. So we went down together and we said our goodbyes. And then they rode all through the whole entire night through the Carrizo.
I think I got to New Kiama at like 9:30. But from the look of it, you know, it might as well have been 1 a.m. And there was like a phone number on the door that said, in case of emergency, call this person. I was like, this is an emergency, but I'm pretty desperate. Like maybe they live on site and they'd come out, but nothing. I honestly thought that the hotel was like closed or like not operating anymore because you couldn't see any like room lights on. It was just pitch black.
So I probably slept for like 4 or 5 hours maybe the second night. I was kind of like, gosh, I'm tired. And I knew that the next section was going to just be hard. And I was like, I don't want to be, I gotta like have a, I don't know. I can't run myself totally ragged yet. So I slept for a while in there. I heard Jesse and Ian pass me sometime early in the morning, I think, or at night. Anyway, yeah, so slept for a little bit there, took off in the morning, had a really lovely morning riding through the Carrizo. There's a very funny exit. It's like really winding your way through some uh, trails that it's amazing that they're there. I don't know if Erin built them or what, but the trails that get you off of the Carrizo, like onto the highway, are pretty hilarious. It was probably pretty like over. Was pretty like ready to be eating a sandwich before I got on those trails, but they're cool.
We're out rolling through Pozo, California. One of the few places people travel to. There is a winery here. We're not sure if it's open, but we're gonna go check it out and see. And if they don't have any water, then we'll just have to buy some wine, I guess, right, Miss Cole?
Yeah. When there's no water, it's wine.
On day 3 in the morning, we left the cabin fairly early. We stopped by the little general store to grab a couple things on our way out, and the lady at the general store asked where we were going, and she did mention that there was news of a forecast of a storm passing through the areas we were riding. But yeah, so far the weather was really great, and we were feeling really positive about the day and about being where we were. So we started climbing a single track called Rinconada Trail, and it has some really steep pitches. And while I'm on one of these I was on a flat section, and rounding the corner, suddenly a pitch got really steep and I was in the completely wrong gear. So I crank all my gears to change gears quickly, and I broke my chain. That's where my chain broke, and I couldn't believe it for a minute. I was like, we made it this far, I'm doing the ride, and I'm gonna compromise our ride by breaking my chain. So luckily we had some quick links to fix the chain, but from then on I knew I had to be really careful shifting, because we didn't have any more quick links. Well, it would be a difficult fix after that. And I did not want to compromise or to have to quit our ride because I was shifting poorly.
Well, we didn't end up having to fill our bladders with wine after all. We came into town, and I guess there was another ride going on today, the Wildflower Century, and Forest Service was out there supporting the ride, and they offered us drinks, and it was very nice.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. They were very nice, and that was just a great spot. We were able to fill up with water. Have lunch.
Yeah. Where are we at?
We are in we just left Pozo, heading up toward the climb, and that'll take us toward the Carrizo Plain. But right now we're in the Pozo area, and it's spring, and it's really beautiful out here right now.
That is a massive oak tree.
Oh, wow.
Look at that thing.
And I wasn't paying attention to the weather, and I was dead set on getting warm food in a hotel room at the whatever that hotel is in Nukuyama. And I got there and everything was closed. But I had been checking the tracker sparingly, like trying not to use a ton of phone battery on my, checking to see where everyone was. And it seemed like Dan and Everett were not moving or going backwards, which I just sort of thought was an error in the tracker. Yeah, then got to New Kiaman, nothing was open. I slept outside the rec center and left early because I didn't think that was a town that would take kindly to seeing someone sleeping outside. And yeah, got up the trail from there kind of early in the morning. And I think I took another nap and whatever that road climb is up to Aliso Trail. Is that what it's called? Yeah, to Aliso Trail.
Celebration bar?
All right, well, we made it to the Carrizo Plain. Miss Coles is having a celebration bar. She's been having a lot of those. Every time she gets up a climb, she has a celebration bar. So, cool. This was a bit rough getting here. Not gonna lie, this was a tough ride so far. But it does feel good to get to the Carrizo. What we were thinking of planning to do here is find a nice quiet spot to put the bivvies down. That way we can wake up in the morning and be surrounded by the Carrizo Plain, maybe some wildflowers, you know, who knows. All right, so we're in the Carrizo Plain and we're on this road called Belmont Trail, and we just passed Chubak Road. So if you look on the map of the Carrizo Plain, on the north side of it, you'll see all these lines, all these roads that were mapped out. And we were talking to one of the other riders who was telling us that this was a development plan out here to build all these homes, like thousands and thousands of homes. But there's no water here. So it had to get shut down. They didn't build a single one, but they've got all the street names and all the lots are laid out. So it could be a development, but there's no water.
So you have millions of gallons of water pouring down from the north with the snow caps in Canada and all pouring down. And they have essentially a very large faucet.
Truck it in. You know, it's kind of an interesting place for sure. So this is private, but we will be getting into the National Monument soon, which is a federal park. But check out some of these houses that are out here. It's really interesting.
Oh, is that a water tank?
Yeah. So here's Clear Creek Road and Beaumont Trail. And you can see there's a line for a road. But there's nothing as far as the eye can see as far as actual development goes. Although there is a solar farm over there. So that's a good, I mean, I guess that's what they're using it for. It's solar.
The campground in Carrizo seemed like a good place to stop. It was just getting dark. And yeah, it was a really pleasant night sleeping under the stars in the Carrizo.
Good morning, everyone. I'm always trying to put on this like excited voice, like everything's going so great all the time. So, all right, we're into it now. What is it? Is today day 4?
Let's see. Day 1, Cambria. Day 2, Santa Margarita.
Yeah.
Day 3.
Day 3.
Here.
What's to
so
here?
Today's day 4. Yeah.
Yeah, day 4. We're out in the Carrizo plain. We camped here last night. We just threw our bivvies down at this campground. So today we got a big day, and then we got to make some choices if we're gonna, how far we're gonna try to get to today, because there's still quite a bit of mileage and a lot of climbing, a lot of hard riding still to do.
Yeah, we're getting into some of the hard stuff.
Yeah.
From here after Yukiyama.
Yeah, so we'll probably break it up into a couple more days, I think. Today and tomorrow for sure. So, well, let's see what's for breakfast here.
So, yeah, I started riding up Aliso and was low on water. And so I went to the hog pen spring and thought that there would be water flowing in the spring. So I left my bike and hiked up with my bottles and filter and got up to the spring. There was no water. And I had heard some voices coming down the trail, but I just assumed that it was day riders. I heard them call out like hello, but I wasn't sure if it was meant for me, so I didn't respond. And when I got down to my bike, there was a payday bar on the seat, and I still just thought it was like a day rider who may know what was going on. And yeah, so I just continued on and rode through that Potrero up there, past the cabin and the cave, and got into like slightly soft dirt, saw some footsteps, and thought it was like kind of odd that people would be hiking out there because it's pretty far from any trailhead. I mean, I guess it would have to be like a backpacking trip, because it seems like it would be a multi-day effort to get out there on foot. And at some point I turned on my cell service to check the tracker and got a text message from Ian Graham asking me what had happened to Dan, like if he'd gotten stuck in the mud. And I was like, I don't know, I haven't seen Dan. And I guess he and Everett got stuck in mud for multiple hours, were going to run out of food and turned back, and it was Dan that left a payday bar on my bike. But the probability of me missing him was very low, but it happened. So yeah, they turned back and went to Nukuyama.
Yeah, we heard some thunder.
Yeah, we heard thunder.
Saw some really dark clouds, but we weren't really worrying about it yet because we were just thinking, okay, maybe it's just a little drizzle or something, because this is late spring, so it could be a little quick shower or something, but nothing we were really worried about. Did you?
Basically, towards the end of the Carrizo, I ran into 2 guys that were doing the tour, and we stopped, chatted for a little bit, and they're like, yeah, like what are you doing? And I was like, kind of like, well, what are you talking? I'm heading to Nukuyama. And they're like, well, didn't you hear? Like, everybody's going down the 33. There's a bunch of mud. Or like, so somehow they had already heard that Dan and I think Everett had like turned around, and everyone said it had been raining or something, and it was too muddy to get through. So everyone was going down the 33 instead. And I was like, well, no matter what, I'm still going to Nukuyama because I want to get some food and I need to just check it out and see what's going on. And basically me and the two guys kind of finished the last bit out of the Carrizo. And so when we got to the 166, I can't remember if they were cousins or brothers. So one of them ended up going down the 33, and the other guy, we headed down to go to Nukuyama, and he was determined to kind of charge through, and I'm like, I think we're gonna be fine.
The mighty Nukuyama Market and Deli. I have been waiting so long to get here. Oh, it's gonna be so good. This is the place. Oh, how are you feeling?
Not too bad.
Not too bad?
Yeah.
Man, you're making me put me to shame here.
No way. I mean, compared to how I thought I might feel right here.
True.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Yeah. Yeah. There's always more rollers and more climbing than you expect.
Yeah.
But you can't really anticipate this. So what I'm gonna do is try to charge up everything I have, because we're gonna be up in those mountains over there till the end. So this is it. This is our last resupply point. This is Nukuyama. So we're gonna have to stock up, get rid of the trash we carried with us, start charging some stuff while we're sitting here.
While we're relaxing, we'll often have to think of what business we have to get done.
Yeah.
I do not think I really ever got rained on. But yeah, it was funny when I left the Carrizo Plain Trail and got on the highway, immediately as I'm exiting, this guy on a motorcycle pulls over and asks me if I'm doing this ride. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, just so you know, like there's this impassable mud in the next section. I guess is it Pine Mountain? Is that this? I have not taken a look at the map again, but the next long fire road section. So he's like, oh, people are turning around. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go to this upcoming town and see what's going on. I thought it was kind of wild that he just seemed very amped. So I think he had some friends who were doing it and was just like, oh, I gotta I'm gonna be the updater. So yeah, I got to Nukuyama and let's see, stopped at a hamburger place, and there were probably about 4 or 5 other riders hanging out there, and kind of trying to decide what to do. Because apparently the first couple folks had encountered some impassable mud, and it had gotten them stuck for long enough that they needed to turn around. And then there was another group of riders after them that became aware of this and decided to also turn around. And so then there were a couple of us trying to decide what to do. And I was kind of ready to turn around too, maybe just because I was a little beat up from that whole Carrizo section. But then I ate a hamburger and drank a cup of coffee and talked with the other riders, talked with Dima, who was more familiar with the route than me. And then we had service there, so we looked at the track leaders, and we saw that Chase was still riding, and like we were able to see that he had basically passed the section where I think Dan had turned around. So then we were like, well, okay. And then Dima and I talked about it more, and we're like, well, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, like you ride your bike and then you can't, and then you turn around maybe. It's like so and you know, there was a cabin pretty soon along that route. So like if the weather did get really gnarly, it's possible to take cover. The other thing, the other key element I gotta say is the pavement ride from the end of Carrizo to New Cayama. There was a headwind. It was just like not beautiful. You know, you're on pavement, and I was like, man, riding my mountain bike on pavement is not fun. So like, it was just like I really have no desire to turn around, ride my bike on pavement like all the way back to like LA or a train or something. It's like, let's just see what happens. So I yeah, several factors there. I think the top one would actually be just like sitting and having a hamburger and a cup of coffee and sitting for like an hour, or I think we sat there for 2 hours trying to figure out what to do. And it didn't feel stressful because we were like, maybe we'll quit. Maybe like, I don't know, like we're just thinking about it. So there was no like, it didn't feel like, oh no, you're wasting time. It was just kind of chill. And then I think at the end of that period of time, you know, we were sort of like rested and fed. And then we're like, oh, well, now we have more energy to go do something that like is potentially questionable and like might be an adventure. So I think the like taking a moment before making a decision, it was really helpful.
There's mountain lions behind us calling each other.
There was a lot of mountain lion tracks when I was out here.
Wow. Oh, that's good news. Hopefully they don't.
Well, they gotta eat too.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not interested in.
It's hard. Yeah. How close are they? It's hard to tell. We don't know how the sound carries.
I think Dan was in that mud for like 12 hours. I guess he was just like, I don't know, 3 hours away from it drying out enough to be rideable, because maybe longer. I don't know how much time had passed between him turning around and me getting up there. But yeah, then via Ian found out that they had scratched. So then I was in front. But then when I was up there approaching Big Pine, I heard thunder. And I don't know, just kept going forward because I guess, you know, it could be raining in front of me, it could be raining behind me. But there are some pretty big hailstones on Big Pine.
You know, Dan, you know, if Dan turned around, it must be bad. But sometimes with that, but you just need to give it a little bit of time. Like one time me and Nancy did that section. It took us, we were planning to ride from Aliso to Bluff Camp, which isn't like too big of, I mean, like it's very doable. You know, even just to get there pretty early, you know, depending on what time you leave. And we only made it to Alomar like in the evening, and we were just like toast because the mud was just like, it was so thick through some of the sections, just trying to push and scrape it off, or the ground was so soft, you were just working so hard to get through it.
So, Miss Coles, how's the ride going so far?
Oh, it's going really good. Yeah, it is. It's going really good. There's definitely, it's challenging. It's a challenging route, but I'm really feeling like very amazed and just glad that we're here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard about this. It's called the Rock Paintings of the Chumash. Yeah, since the trip, I've just been going through and reading about it. It was just a very like beautiful experience to be able to see that, and I think I was feeling like very isolated and very lonely at this point. Hadn't like really interacted with anybody in a while, and just being in a place where the Chumash had like camped there. They had painted on these rocks. Like it was just a very special feeling. And then it was kind of like a death march to I think it's called Big Pine. But yeah, it was a highlight, and then it was kind of darkness for me. That was probably the highest point on the route, but my lowest point emotionally. I felt so scared, and like, hey, I get like really scared sometimes when I'm riding. And right now I'm in a bad headspace where I'm just thinking about all the things that can go wrong. Like my rear hub has been making a lot of noise, and I'm scared that my wheel is just gonna fall apart. My cranks don't feel great. I'm scared that my bottom bracket is gonna explode. But I'm just trying to remind myself that I'm just riding, and that's the only thing I can focus on. Kind of since the start of this second or third day, I had been feeling really paranoid about my bike and thinking about all the different things that could go wrong. Like I was really freaked out that my bottom bracket was gonna like explode or something, or my rear hub was just gonna give out. And I was like, yeah, if anything happens, I'm kind of screwed out here. And yeah, it just felt like very, 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 very alone.
Coming down Big Pine into Camuesa Road, it was wet from fog, but not necessarily rain. So I got like muddy there, but it was downhill and very passable. But yeah, I lucked out by being much slower than them. I got to that Forest Service cabin, and I saw it had a nice covered porch. And I was like, oh, this is pretty sweet. And then I was like, oh, there's a lot of mouse poop here. I don't know, maybe I won't sleep here, because I thought it might rain again that night. And it'd be nice to be under the cover, but there's mouse poop. And I like started to put my bivy down, like it'll be all right. I'm not gonna get hantavirus from this. And then I actually saw a mouse, and I was like, I'm gonna sleep on the ground in front of the cabin. Right after I fell asleep, I got woken up to the mating calls of a mountain lion. Pretty close. But I don't know. I just stayed put. I figured my chances of encounter would be higher if I packed up and left.
Yeah, so the weather turned out pretty good for us. Sunny today, not too hot. You can kind of see the fog back there. That's the coastal range, I think. That's the fog coming up from the coast. This is, I believe, called Buckhorn Road. And it's It's a pretty technical descent. A lot of rocks, a lot of storm drainage damage. So it's just a kind of a slow descent. It's smooth and then rough. Smooth and then rough. But we got a big descent ahead of us. I don't think that's it right there.
Oh, that road down there?
That might be it,
Oh,
actually.
wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
Or maybe it goes around this mountain and out over there somewhere. Anyway, we got to keep rolling, Miss Schools.
Yeah.
We got to keep up on time.
Still got some miles to go.
Yep. So this is our day 5. This is day 5.
This is day 5. We started Thursday. Today's
Yep.
Monday. Thursday,
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is day 5.
Yeah,
4, 5. Yeah.
5. We're on
day 5.
Ride day 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got 76 miles left. So it's around, it is now 10 o'clock. We got 76 miles, so I'm hoping we can get a lot done today. I don't know if we'll finish, but we'll try to get a lot done, and then if anything, we'll finish tomorrow morning sometime.
Yeah. Wow, we've experienced so much so far. It's
Yep.
hard to sum it up.
We can't sum it up yet,
Yeah.
but we're just here.
Can't. Yeah, knock on wood.
Let's roll, Miss Schools.
Noon to early afternoon, I think, I started the Monte Rito hike-a-bike. So yeah, I got up to the top of Ocean View at like maybe 2 o'clock. And I decided to use Renee Ayres knobby tires, which were great. I was pretty surprised at how good they were on the dirt everywhere else. And then I got to Ocean View and they were just not cutting it. And I'd ridden Ocean View a couple weeks prior on a loaded bike with like real mountain bike tires, and I felt pretty good. And like right away, all the confidence was out the window. So it just slows you down even more. And yeah, so I had a very slow go down Ocean View. Was just sliding instead of braking. It was kind of a trip, but then yeah, finally got down. The river crossing was easy this year compared to last year when it was like waist deep, shoulder deep, and made it to the pier just after dark.
I gotta get, oh man, yeah, see, I gotta swap the lens.
I get up to the spot where the Monte Rito trail starts, and then the road continues, like it just drops straight down. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna walk down this thing. I can't ride it because oh, I also got I got a flat after I realized that my pads wore through. So I like had to change a flat at some point too. It was awful. And I'm just like pushing my bike up this hill and then going down. And eventually like it just turned into a river with boulders. And I have my bike, and I'm like looking ahead, and it just looks like it continues on and on and on. And I'm just like hoisting my bike over these rocks, and it was extremely slick. And I'm wearing like gravel cleats, so it doesn't have the greatest traction. And I'm like, this is so sketchy. It would be so easy for me to just slip and fall and like hit my head and be knocked unconscious or something. And I like could barely move the bike. I had to like take bags off, and I was working it down. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna walk ahead and see if this continues. And I walked ahead for a little bit, and it just looked like it continued on. And I was like, I should not have come down here. Like that was really stupid. I should have researched more beforehand about like potential bailout options, because it didn't really seem like a viable. Well, I have worn through my brake pads, and I did not bring spares, like an actual idiot. So that is a pretty serious problem. I just have my rear right now, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna go back up and go up Monte Rito, the original trail, and just hike down. And yeah, it took like that detour took like 2 hours. And by this point, it was like the hottest part of the day. And that Monte Rito hike a bike that was really crazy. That was insane. That was like diabolical. I had to portage my bike. I like took off my panniers and would walk up a little bit, walk back down and push the bike up. And it was just taking so long, and it was so hot. I was getting towards the top, and I felt like very like I was going to pass out. And I realized like I couldn't really remember like the last 30 minutes. And I was like, I need to sit down, and sit down in the shade. And when I was sitting down, I don't know like how much I'm gonna get into this, or if I necessarily would want this included in the video, but no, I felt like I was going to die. Like I felt this like overwhelming urge to go to sleep, and I started thinking about death, and thinking of like I was at the point where I was gonna start recording videos for people, and I was like, I can't do that, because if I do that, then I'm actually going to die or something. But it was very scary. And eventually I was just like battling with myself, just trying to stay awake. And I was like, it's probably a better idea, even though it's like hot and dangerous to be out here. It's probably better for me just to keep moving than to like take a nap or something. But it was very scary, and I don't know if I actually would have died, but it felt like I would have died if I fell asleep, and that was just like not a good situation. But yeah, like I was very close to the top, and made it up there and felt immensely better. And I got another flat somehow going up, so I changed. I threw in my second tube, and I was like, why am I even doing this? Like, I'm just gonna walk the bike anyways. Yeah, and I just hiked for another like maybe 4 or 5 hours, and I got to at least on the route seemed like the high point. It was kind of this protected area with big rocks and boulders, and it wasn't night yet. I was just like, I need to sleep, and figure this out in the morning. So I bivvied up there, and I woke up at like 3 in the morning, and I was like, it is I think it like walking down the trail was so sketchy, because my bike was probably like 40 or 50 pounds, and without a front brake and with my rear pads extremely low, I just did not feel confident like in my ability to stop. And it was so easy for the bike just to like get going, because the trail was so steep, and pretty exposed in parts too. And I was like, it's probably better for me to just leave the bike up here and hike down getting to town, because I was also very low on water, and I just needed to get off of the mountain.
So my name is Ian Graham, and about 4 years ago I caught wind of this trail above Ojai. I'd heard about it, and I'd heard this crew was up there working on it, so I just one day decided to head up the trail with my bike, and I started seeing evidence of trail work, and I just kept going and going, and I started seeing tools stashed in different locations. And I was just blown away. I felt like I was in the Colorado mountains. I had just gotten back from the Colorado trail race, and so to find this, and it was one of those days where there was just clouds swirling, and it was just perfect, once in a summer cool August day. And I just kept going and going, and I got to this wall of brush, and I could see the high point where they had stopped working. As soon as I did that, I just had to find out who was working on the trail. And it turns out it was this guy named Mike Gorley and the Get It Done crew. So I was able to call a few people and get his number, and went out with them a few weeks later. The trail's special because it's one of like the longest continuous downhills in Ojai. I mean, there's not really that many trails that are 16 miles long that are predominantly downhill, and it rides along, or goes along the spine of the San Ynez mountain range. And on either side, you're looking in the backcountry towards all de Los Padres, and on the western side, the southern side, you're looking at the ocean. So it's appropriately named the Ocean View Trail. And a huge restoration effort, and I was just so impressed with what these people were doing. And come to find out, they've been working on it for 16 years, since 2009.
Yeah, we are. Been on the side of a mountain all morning, actually. This is a true hike-a-bike, this section.
Yeah, what's neat about the project was, so it basically started out of Ojai, out of the Ventura River watershed, and as they went, they needed a place to camp and set up and post up. Over time, it evolved, one bench at a time. So the first bench is about a mile up. So, you work on that for a year. Second bench, another mile up. So it's kind of like, it was almost like year markers for them. And they just end up being like great spots to picnic. So it's kind of like giving back to the community in that way. Like there's like sites to go visit. There's milestones. So the average hiker or cyclist can be like, oh, I got to bench 3 this time, or I went to bench 4, as a way to describe an area. And each of the bench sites is ridiculously beautiful. And there ends up being 11 of them total. When I got involved, there was just one left to do. And at a certain point, they got the idea to paint the benches fun colors. And there's some meaning to some of the colors. One of them, the pink bench, was in honor of someone that had passed away from cancer. So there's a memorial plaque, and it was actually Mike Gorley's father. So he was memorialized with the pink bench. And then, just gives you a special place to go, go visit that site.
We're 4,600 feet right now above sea level. And this is what you see at the beach. The rocks that are all washed out from the ocean waves.
Ooh, yeah. They're like really carved out here.
Yeah.
I'm
They
on
get carved out.
Camuesa Road, which is really fun. It's got, you know, all these little, suddenly it's narrow and you got to be careful not to fall off something. And then you're walking across a water crossing, etc. At some point on that, I was like, man, I cannot keep my eyes open. So I was like, I got to sleep sometime soon. So I stopped at, God, I cannot remember any of these names. There was a little campground at a turnoff to one of the hot springs. I think the hot spring that's closer to Monte Arito. There's also a campground at the turnoff to that. So laid down there on a picnic table for about 30 minutes. Woke up when I heard someone's free hub. I'm like, oh no, is that Dima? So he got me. So I was like, oh, I gotta get going. So I woke up and ate some instant mashed potatoes. Cannot emphasize enough how clutch the dehydrated mashed potatoes were. Like, you don't need to heat the water. You know, they're fast. So much energy. So had some potatoes and tried to book it to Monte Arito. So got there kind of as the sun was setting and, you know, wailed and gnashed my teeth up that hike-a-bike. And yeah, got on Ocean View. So slow. I'm like thinking about the times that I was places and I was like, good God, it somehow took me, like, at some point on Ocean View, I was like, I'm so tired. I gotta sleep again. So, you know, there's this one part on the trail that is not a real stopping place, but it has this little flat spot next to it. So I crashed there for a couple hours, woke up. So I probably fell asleep at, like, I don't know, midnight or something, and slept for a couple hours, probably got up at, I don't know, 4 and kept going. And then I got down to where that pirate flag is, and there were 2 other guys also camping out there. I felt bad because I had been just screeching my brake the whole way down to that spot. So I'm sure I woke them up. They said hello. It was lovely to see them. They were just getting packed up. And then, yeah, the sun came up as I was going down the rest of Ocean View, or I don't know if Ocean View turns into another name as you keep going, but at some point it becomes like pretty rideable even for the like tired person who is bad at mountain biking, who is me. And so I just kind of bounced my way down in the beautiful sunrise. And gosh, I had heard so much about last year's river crossing. It was really tall and hard. Didn't deal with that. Like, pretty low key river crossing comparatively, which I was grateful for. And then just, yeah, cruised into town, you know, on that bike trail. So many kids riding e-bikes to school, like, so fast. Lots of fast. Yeah, so just kind of trying to stay alert. Yeah, and then it was nice to get to the pier, and then it was so fun to hang out all day. And Dima got in a couple hours, like an hour or 2 after that, and then Lizzo got in soon after that. Ian, who had done the thing I mentioned, which is ride to Jesse's place in Ventura, sleep there, take the train home, drive his car to New Cayama, start the route again. He gets there also, you know, later that day. Ben got there later that day. Yeah. So fun to hang out and see everyone come in and like chat about stuff. So yeah, incredible ride.
I think I need a quick red vine just to make it through the last little bit.
Well, Miss Coles, I would say congratulations. You did the 2025 Tour De Los Padres.
Thank you. Congratulations to you too.
Wow. You are so strong. Wow. You, I can't believe how strong you are. I literally have no idea. That was the hardest 420-mile ride I've done in my whole life.
Yeah.
And last night's just icing on the cake for how hard it was. And last night, the push up to, what was the trail called? My brain is fried. The Ridge Trail up there. Man, just so hard. I don't know how to describe it. It's not, you can't describe it because it all depends on how you get to that trail. So I assume, I mean, if you drove up there and parked and hiked the trail, you'd say, it's steep, yeah, it's hard. But 600 miles into the ride, we left from home, getting to that turn off, that you turn off of the fire road and go up that single track is just, it's on another level of insanity.
It is. Yeah. That trail. The trail?
The trail.
Trail, yeah.
The whole ride was very, very hard, but that last push was something else for sure.
It's a trail that you'll remember for its challenge.
Yeah, as I was hiking it, I was thinking, you know, this is probably the last time I'll see this trail. You know, these you never know, right?
Yeah.
You're out there, you just never know. And it's such a interesting landscape. It's such a strange area, and how to get to it. It's everything. All the roads have been basically decommissioned. There's no maintenance going on back there, so you're just crossing through creek. The roads wash out. You're crossing through creeks. The roads become single track, overgrown with poison oak and berries, and you know, it's impossible to totally describe it. But what I can say is it was an epic adventure. That is an epic adventure.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to get it on video, but Miss Cools knows. When I say it's an epic adventure, she knows now.
Yeah, what an epic adventure. What you mean when you say epic?
Oh my gosh.
That ride has so much. You'll remember it. Like, there's a lot of just stunning moments and peaceful moments, and just the challenges that you get through to complete this ride. It's a ride to not take lightly.
How does it feel to be finished right now?
Feels really good.
Does it?
Gotten through all of that. Yeah.
Good job.
How do you feel, Mr. Wild?
Oh, I feel so relieved.
Yeah.
You know, because anytime you start these adventures, a million things can go wrong. You know.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, you're on a bus trying to get back to home because things didn't work out.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we're here, I mean, we've got a lot to talk about, all the things that happened. So we'll save all that for later. But for now, we're going to go find some food over here in Ojai.
Yeah.
And then we're going to finish the final 10-mile bike path to Ventura Pier, where we officially end. But yeah, congratulations, Miss Schools.
Congratulations. You got us through it.
I don't know. You pushed that bike. You pushed that bike. I didn't do it.
You helped me a couple times on that really steep trail.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Still. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you guys later.
But I think if I did anything differently, it would be use a bigger chain ring for the road sections, because I ran out of gear so quickly on in Big Sur with the arrow bars, and I think like a 30 tooth chain ring, which normally I'm always thinking like, oh, smallest chain ring possible, there's so much climbing. And 30, there was a lot of time spent coasting when I could have been pedaling if I'd had a 32 or 34. But I think forcing myself to sleep the first night instead of even though like I wasn't tired at night, you know, because I get pretty like pumped up on riding at night. But when I came to sunrise, I was just not feeling great. And it was just taking naps all day in the Carrizo Plain. maybe like three naps in the Carrizo. So yeah, I think a more managed sleep schedule next year.
You don't want to be like you're making really dumb choices just because you're like want to do the thing. So you don't want to like ignore, like, oh, it's dangerous. So trying to figure out like is like what is it, and actually think through like, well, we can probably still just try and be thoughtful about like at some point if we encounter, something that seems like a bad idea, then we can make a choice, but we don't have to make that choice right now. I don't know. Anyway.
And so I know, and then how that goes. And then literally the next day we turned around and came through, and it was like totally fine the next day and like no problem riding through it. So I know how fast it can turn or dry out. So, and if anything, you just like, it was just, I luckily, at the store and just like buying enough food to make sure I had extra. So if it took longer than expected, I'd be fine out there.
Well, it's all right. There's a little finishing flag on the route cube. How cute is that? Got a checkered flag, Miss Bowles. You're getting the checkered flag for finishing. Yeah! Oh my Thank God. You guys for showing up here.
We didn't expect anyone would be
No.
here. Wow.
Wow. Dude.
We couldn't help but be here.
Oh, thank you so much. We were like, yeah, it'll just be a quiet roll. Okay, here we are at the finish here at the pier in Ventura, California. We've got Miss Coles over here ordering us some chips and salsa and some lemonade. We're just gonna hang out a little bit. These guys here.
Maybe somewhere down the road when somebody plays Purple Haze. Well, it's alright, even when push comes to shove. Well, it's alright, if you got someone to love. Well, it's alright, everything will work out fine. Well, it's alright, we're going to the end.
Dude, thank you so much.
You're pretty much,
Yeah.
You're pretty much there.
Yeah.
Down the hill. Memorial weekend.
Is it? Oh, it's Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, I was like supposed to go for a wedding, but it took a lot longer to do this.
Yeah. How many days you at right now?
I'm at 4.
4 days? Damn.
Yeah.
And now you're down to just your helmet, no bike.
Yeah, bro.
What happened? What's going on?
Dude.
You got your bike shoes with no bike. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah,
I had to give you a beer, man. You look like you needed it, man.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah, no, it's interesting what it does to you. You do the TDLP route, and I mean, you're already thinking ahead to next year. You're reliving it in your mind. You're spending time daydreaming about it. Like, it just becomes something that did affect how you see the world, you know? So, yeah, it always changes people, whether they have a good way of explaining it or not. It just makes you just want more adventure in your life.
Even though we were close to the end, there was still a few more steep rollers that you don't expect to have, because it's the kind of ride this is. When you think there's no more climbing, even when you get inches from the finish line, maybe not inches, but really close, there's always going to be a little more climbing. And we We did it.
Happy to feel that. And it don't matter if you're by my side. I'm sad.